Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Nick, and if you are looking for guides on Shopify development and design, then you've come to the right place. First though, I have a huge announcement. I've officially launched my Shopify theme development course. In this course, I teach about the architecture of the Shopify themes, getting started with Liquid, editing existing themes, and then we ultimately create a theme from scratch. This is the theme that I'm actually using to sell the course. So if you go to the link in the description, nickdrushinsky.com, you will see the theme that I'm speaking about. In today's video, we're going to create a section that we can use as a hero banner or as a banner, or really as a section anywhere in our theme. This is an animated product slide in. It essentially adds this cool animation where our product image slides in from the side of the screen and it just looks awesome. So to do this, we'll create a section file. We're going to use HTML, Liquid, section schema for customizations, CSS, and lots of JavaScript. If you'd like to skip the explanation of the code, you can find the link in the description to copy and paste into your file, and you should be good to go. Otherwise, if you're interested in learning more about the code, stick around. This section looks great on desktop and mobile and has a lot of customizable options. If you have something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments and direct me to the design that you're speaking of. Let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my terminal and I'm going to start my development server. So if you don't want to use the Shopify CLI, no worries at all. Just go into your theme. I would recommend creating a duplicate and then just come in here and edit that code. So I have started my terminal here, and if I preview it, it should work. Okay, cool. And then I should have the theme editor open as well. Cool. So what I can do now is I can come into my code editor, and in this sections directory right here, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it animated banner. I'll just do that. Cool. And then the first thing I'm going to do is just create a schema down here. And I'm just going to give it a name. And then I'm not going to do any settings or anything yet, but I will add an empty array, and then I'll also add a presets here so that we can add it. Okay, cool. And then for 1 second, I'm just going to put test, make sure that I can add it here. If I refresh, I should be able to add this section. Animated banner, sweet. There it is. Doesn't look very good, but it is in fact there. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to my code, and the first thing I do is add my styles. So let me copy my styles. So right above our HTML, I'm going to paste this in. All right, so this is a lot of code. Notice I'm using the style and I'm not using the Liquid style tags because we are going to use some section settings in here. So you can see right here, I'm going to try to point them all out to you, and hopefully this makes sense, but we have our two colors that we're setting a linear gradient to. So we have to use two colors for that. We're going to let the merchant be able to determine that. We are also setting the background color on our button and the color of the text in the button itself. Let's see what else. Setting the height. So depending on the size of your image, you may want it higher or lower in the actual banner. And then I think other than that, I must have just missed it. We are using perfect for the text color of the banner itself. So this is all, but let's get started with our HTML. All right, time to remove our test HTML here, and I'm going to get started with a container. I'm going to give it a unique class name. The reason I give it these weird class names is because when you're editing an existing Shopify theme, there's all sorts of classes and stuff going on, and I just want to make sure that any global styles don't apply themselves to my container because I want to be able to customize it as I please. So I'm also going to give it an ID. Okay. And then I'm going to give it a subcontainer. And then I'm going to add the image here that's actually going to slide in. So I'm going to give it a div wrapper. Okay, cool. And then I am going to also add in, I'm going to paste this code in because it's a bunch of SVGs and I don't want to type those out. So right here, right above this last div tag, I'm going to paste this code in. So you'll see that for right now, I'm just going to hard code this. And these SVGs are going to be stars that show up underneath. Kind of inefficient to do this. In fact, maybe I'll refactor this and do a for loop so that we don't have all this code here. Okay, cool. So this looks good, but it's not going to work because we're referencing a few section schema things that we are not using yet. So we also are missing some JavaScript to make the animation happen. So I suppose why don't we add some JavaScript first? So down here below our code, I'm going to add a script tag. And then I'm going to, first thing I'm going to do, create an event listener for when the page is fully loaded. Then I'm going to do a few more query selectors. All right, cool. And then I'm going to also add a query selector for my button so that when it's clicked, it will navigate to whatever product page I decide. So I'm going to do one more. And then I'm going to use the settings. This will be in the settings as well that we're going to let the user determine. Okay, cool. All right, that looks good so far. Now we need to add some timeouts here. Okay, cool. So this is going to be like the main content, like the text and the button and stuff. I guess right above that, I'm going to do the actual image. So it's very similar. I'll do set timeout. All right, cool. And then I think we just need one more set timeout, and this one's going to be for the stars at the bottom. Okay, cool. And then there is one last thing we need to add to our code here. Okay, cool. So we're just setting an array, where we're going to grab the title and the description. And then we're going to just run a for loop. All right, cool. So that's going to go through these elements, and we could add the button if we wanted to, but I'm good with just the title. And then this kind of adds an additional animation there. So it'll have a timeout depending on the index, about around 1 second. And it's just going to make sure that the opacity and stuff is showing correctly. Okay, cool. So everything right here looks good. So I think the next step that we want to do is to make sure that we are adding in these different settings that we need to have customizable, right? Because if we save right now, I think it'll break out. I'm not sure that, yeah. So it doesn't look very good. We probably have some errors in the terminal, not good. Okay, no worries. We can fix that. We're gonna come down here. I'm gonna go ahead and copy and paste these so that you don't have to watch me type them all. Okay, cool. So let me talk about these that we just added here. So I have an image picker for the main product image. I have a banner heading for the heading text. I have the subheading text. I have the button text. I have the background colors. So the first and second, because it's like a linear gradient, right? So the background of the section. I have the text color, so like the color of the heading and the subheading, the color of the button and the color of the backgrounds of the button. And then I have a range that you can adjust the height of the image from the top. And then let's see what else we have. The review section, trusted by over 1 million. So I've added defaults to like all of these, as you can see. So it should work. I'm going to, let's see what else. CDA button link, where we actually want the button to click to. And then a few checkboxes. One, to enable the image movement, because I've added this little style that makes it rotate, which I think looks kind of cool. We also have a checkbox to show or hide the button. And I'll show you why. So if I save this, if I come back here, looks like I still have an issue. Let me see. I'm getting errors all over the place. I think I have a couple typos that I need to fix. Let's see. Yeah, hero. And then custom band. Oh, geez. Not the best typing. Okay, let's try that. Okay, all right, that looks a lot better. So it still looks kind of weird because we don't have an image selected, but let's go ahead and change that. So I'm gonna come back to the theme editor, and then I'm going to click in here and I'm going to add this product. So the cool thing, this is just a random shoe I found online, okay? But what you need to do is make sure that your image does not have a background to it. So there's an easy way to do this. You can use tools, like there's definitely photo editing tools you can use, but I'm lazy. So I use this site called Remove BG. It's been great for me. And it removes that background, does a pretty good job. So, all right, excellent. We can see that this looks excellent so far. So let's make it more customizable. We've added our huge schema, right? So we can change all of this. But right now we can see our heading and some of like the button text is not showing up as it should, but this is an easy fix. So the first thing I'm going to do is come here, remove this, and then I'm going to reference our settings. Let's see, banner heading, I believe. Cool. And then same thing here. This is for the button text. Excellent. And then right here as well. What is this one called? Probably not the most descriptive name, but that'll work. All right, cool. And then there's one other thing we need to do here, and I'm going to add a conditional here. So I'm going to add it in two places. I'll start here, right here at the button. So I personally don't love the look of the button there. I think it kind of like clouds the space. So you can see here, and that animation is pretty sweet, right? Ooh. All right, so I'm going to hide this button because I just don't like it. So what I'm going to do is come over here and add some logic, image movement, show CTA button, close that, and basically if it's true, it'll render, so that checkbox that we created, and then if not, it will not. So I also need to add it here because we're not going to be able to have, we're not going to be able to find that button to click on if it doesn't exist. So I can wrap this JavaScript as well. And then let's try that. It should default to true. So, okay, cool. It is hiding as it should. And this looks pretty good. So let's test the customizer really quick just to make sure that we can indeed customize this as we see fit. So if I come down here and I'm just going to start typing a little bit. Okay, cool. That works. That works as well. Oh, well, I'm hiding the button, but that probably would work. Let's enable it and see. Yep, okay, shop all, and it changed the text. Cool, cool. Let's look at the first color. Yep, that worked. Second color. Yep. Text color. And then let's try moving this somewhere weird. Disable that. And let's see what happens here. Awesome, and I need to show that, whoops. Okay. Yep, everything is working as expected. I mean, it looks terrible, but I just wanted to make sure that it was working. So if I click on this, it should also link me. All right, cool. Okay, so this has been creating a animated Shopify banner image where we can have our product image slide in and from the side, and it looks pretty cool. I hope that you've liked this and it's helpful. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm always looking for requests, so just make sure you send me a link or something to what it is that you'd like to see built. Make sure you check out my course if you're interested, and I will see you next time.